Hello YouTube, this is Shon the Divine Diva coming at you with my NACA Journey Update video number 3. It's been 2 weeks since my last update and just wanted to share with you what I have been doing. So as you may recall, I had my initial appointment by phone with my remote counselor because the nearest NACA office is just about 2 hours away from where I live. So when you attend the initial workshop, you do get the option to decide if you want a counselor that you have to travel to, your local office, or if you want a remote counselor. And so I opted for remote. So since that time, I left my initial appointment with two major action items. The first being to work on saving my minimum required funds, MRF, as it is often referred to. But the minimum required funds are basically an amount that your counselor will tell you that you need to save as a part of this process. Now, NACA does not require you to pay any closing costs. You don't pay PMI or anything of that nature. Is not based on your credit score. However, they come up with the formula and tell you how much you need to save as a part of this process. And those funds will go towards things like the inspections and other prepaid costs that things that come up prior to closing, but also to help with your reserves after closing. So you will actually have some funds once you close on your home. Now, one of the things I would suggest, if you haven't already, is to Google the NACA forums and blogs. There's a lot of information on these forums and blogs, and even though I didn't necessarily find the website user-friendly, the information has been very helpful. If I can find the link, I will add it down below. In particular, I would say a lot of the answers that are posted, you'll notice there are certain individuals that are clearly providing like the best information. Tim Trumbull, who is one of the a NACA official, I believe he's the online operations person for NACA. He provides a lot of the answers, and then there's a couple of others. So I kind of look for certain names over and over, and I'm finding that I can get some really good information on those blogs. So now, the other thing I want to talk about is there was a creditor that did come up on my credit report when I was speaking with the counselor, and I was not familiar with that creditor, and she advised that I figure out who it was. So I did some research and discovered they are a debt collection company that is attempting to revive um, an old debt with a company that I believe I actually already paid off a couple of years ago. So one of my main concerns with this was that I recalled her telling me that if it was over 2 or 3 years old, that there was not necessarily an obligation to pay in terms of NACA, but to reach out to the company and have them validate the debt. My main concern was that even when you pay off a debt collector, if the original company is still saying you owe a debt, it will still show as an open debt. She suggested that I write a letter of explanation for that, explaining what has happened, how I addressed it, and how I'll prevent that particular situation from happening again. So that'll be an interesting letter of explanation. In the email that I wrote asking for clarification on this, the counselor did respond pretty timely. I sent the email on a Saturday knowing that she would not get it until sometime on Monday, and I did have a response on Tuesday. Additional questions within that email were about the volunteer hours, because you are required to do 5 hours a year each year that you're participating. And so I was asking, hey, should I get started on these hours even though my appointment isn't until December, my next one anyway? And so she advised that I reach out to the nearest local office and find out how I can start volunteering. So another thing I want to point out is that I have high student loan debt, and so one of the things I'm doing is attempting to get my payment plan restructured to make the payments not only more feasible but more workable as it pertains to the amount of house I want to qualify for. So I did mention before that the counselor gave me an okay figure, but I would certainly want to qualify for more and need less. So the only other thing that I do want to point out is that in the NACA blogs and forums, they give you really good descriptions of the costs associated with this, like the minimum required funds. The example is actually explained. I keep hearing terms like payment shock mentioned, and payment shock and minimum required funds are not the same thing. And so I'm going to find the link and leave that to the NACA blogs and forum down below, as well as links to my other videos. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I will respond. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.